Right, so what I want to do in this video is I want to show you how I'm using Claude's MCP, multi-context protocol, to create systems in Notion that my team and Claude can use to make every single workflow and system within my business process, SOP, whatever it looks like, seamless. So with that being said, the first things first is you're going to actually need to go to GitHub to install the Claude MCP for Notion. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do this. I can make another video on that if you would like, but you can see there is also a tutorial down here that is very, very easy for you to follow and implement on Claude. But nevertheless, what I want to do for this project and what I want to showcase is how I create an entire client project tracker. I'm at a point now with my own agency where I'm starting to get more projects. I'm starting to get, obviously, more leads as well. And it's becoming an issue of cash flow because I'm needing to start to hire, and I need to also just kind of visualize what clients are staying on for the next month, what clients are just projects, and really turning that chaos into order. And so what I decided to do was look at my existing CRM pipeline on Notion, which is right here, and look at, I'm not going to show you all of my prospects, but I needed to basically find a way to take this system, which I already like, and just turn it into something that's more of a project tracker. Now, I didn't want to replace it. I just wanted to create something that was as simple as this to follow. So all I did, which is something that you, as a business owner, should be encouraging yourself to learn or your team to learn, is learn how to get Claude to write a prompt for you. So what I did is I literally took a screenshot of this, the whole board. I'm not going to show you the whole board. And I just said, I want to create a tracker for tracking my active clients and projects to visualize cash flow and details about the client, right? Now, what I did here then, it basically built out an entire step-by-step, and from there, I then seriously just prompted it, turn this into a prompt for a Notion cross Claude, so MCP, so that I can implement it in my own Notion, right? So I'm not going to go through and write that whole thing. And then here's a prompt that it gave me, right? I need you to create a comprehensive client project tracking system with cash flow prediction functionality in my Notion. This should complement my existing CRM pipeline board that tracks leads through my sales process. And you'll actually see that the MCP, Claude, will go to your Notion and check what the system looks like for your pipeline board, for example, in my case. So it's asking, please create a client project tracker database. Next is I need a monthly cash flow dashboard as well that shows projected revenue month by month. And we also need to create the necessary formulas to calculate monthly revenue projections based on payment structures. And lastly is set up database relations between this new system and CRM pipeline. Now, the great thing that I like about this is that it will also spit out instructions so that anytime you ask it to update the database, which is here, it can refer to those instructions, which will be in your SOP and process hub if you have that, right? And it will be able to update this client project tracker, which, as you can see here, step by step, Claude went ahead and created inside my Notion. So the good thing about these SOPs too is I'll actually open it up. The good thing about these SOPs is that you can hand them to your team as well, right? And then you can hand off Claude, whether you have a team plan or you let them log into your basic plan, and they can follow this structure. If you have a business development person or a lead generation virtual assistant or something like this, anytime that they need to update the CRM pipeline, and anytime that someone like a contract gets won, you can either notify them to get into Claude and set up the Notion page for the new client that's coming, or you can set up an automation where once they've moved to the one section, so you've won the deal, it automatically sets up here. And you can get Claude to do that for you, but you'll actually get to understand the power of it, where you can see it going step by step through this. Great, I found your CRM pipeline. Now let's get to the parent page where we'll create our new databases. Perfect. Here's a new database. So you can see it's going through, creating all the formulas, making sure that we have everything we need. And then it comes down here and says that they've also finished with the instructions too. So I'll show you now an actual use case where what I want to do is I want to update a new lead, right? So let's just say that we signed Dana White, and I'm going to write out that prompt. I'm going to show you what it looks like and how it updates the client project tracker database. So all I told it was I just signed a client called Dana White who works at the UFC on a 6-week project to build an AI dashboard for $50,000. I will also say that this is non-recurring, and I just asked it, please update my client project tracker in Notion to reflect this. So I'll let it run just so you can see what it looks like in real time as well. It does take 30 seconds to a minute for most of these very simple tasks, but what it's going to do is going to first actually go through, like I said, all of the systems, processes, and SOPs that we have stored inside the Notion that it actually built itself, so they can figure out how to actually update the database effectively. So you can see it's going in, doing API calls and requests and things like this that are too technical and out of my pay grade. But you can see, let me check for a client projects database specifically. And then I'm going to pause it, I'm going to let this run, and then you'll see what the end result looks like. Now, one thing that I have seen a lot is that the Claude chat would kind of just stop in the middle of it. You can tell it to continue to go, but in this case, it's been updated in the dashboard. There are a couple of tweaks I had to make, which probably should have shown, but the point is that it created this card and just put all the details in here, and then I just updated it. So although at the moment there are still some things that are not flowing as seamlessly as possible, which are most likely actually on my end because it was getting confused between certain SOPs that I have and how they're laid out, right? But the point is that this is something that whether you want to entirely automate something, like I have built an entire database here that has automations and things like this, or you just want to have a human in the loop sort of system where, hey, I need to build the client project tracker, and then you can update it once it is created. Now you might be asking, hey, why can't you just do this with Notion AI? Well, the point is that this Claude tool not only can actually do more, like create really sophisticated workspaces and databases and things like this, it can actually also connect to different tools like ClickUp as well. It can connect to things like Monday.com, HubSpot, and it can start to act as an agent that really doesn't need that much training if you already have the SOPs. Like I said, for me, in my case, the reason it might not be working entirely in an automated way where it is just a chat interface and I can talk to it like an employee is probably because of my SOPs, right? So it's actually, that's probably like a root cause analysis there. But the point is that this is a very powerful tool, and I think that everyone should be really, really exploring, or at least hiring somebody to make sure that their company is exploring solutions like this.